What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to another edition of the Daily Energy Newsbeat Stand-Up here on this gorgeous Tuesday, January 24th, 2023. As always, I'm your humble correspondent, Michael Tanner, coming to you from an undisclosed location here in Dallas, Texas. Back from sabbatical. I kid only when I say I was interviewing for a natural gas analyst position at Goldman Sachs. I actually made it all the way up to seeing David Solomon. He asked me one question, bull or bear? I said, hit that gravy train, baby. Bullish on natural gas. So I'm awaiting an offer. We'll see. Considering the prices we're at, the offer will be stingy. As I mentioned, I only kid, but I am glad to be back and looking forward to it. As always, I am joined by the executive producer of the show, the purveyor of the show, and the director and publisher of the world's greatest website, EnergyNewsBeat.com, Stuart Turley. I appreciate you holding the fort down for me. How you doing today?
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat because that's what I felt like. I missed you. I was kind of
you beat me on downloads, though. I'll be honest. I looked at the stats this morning. You beat me on downloads. A little depressing. So I know I have to step my game up. But based upon the articles we got today, guys, we have a great show lined up. Stu's got some great ones. First, we're going to go over to China and talk about how they're accelerating the construction of coal-fired power plants. Is net zero a possibility? Interesting question. And then we're going to talk about 4 key takeaways from the World Economic Forum in 2023, specifically Stu's panel that he was on. He'll have some great insights into some of the stuff that went on there. Then we'll go over to Africa and talk about why it may save Europe from an energy perspective. We'll also talk about silver, copper prices that are on the rise amid supply shortages. We'll cover natural gas and crude oil prices in finance. Natural gas actually popped a little bit today based off some new weather demand numbers. Oil around 81.60, so we'll cover that. High Peak Energy does a press release announcing they're going to try to sell themselves. That's a swag move right there. We'll cover what that means for the market and a bag of chips, guys. But first, check us out online, world's greatest website, EnergyNewsBeat.com. Check us out, dashboard.energynewsbeat.com, the best place for all of your energy news. Our dashboard, which is at dashboard.energynewsbeat.com, is the best place to kind of combine all of that. I'll be honest, didn't work on it much this weekend. We will get back at it on the development cycle. We actually have a release this Friday, so it will be fun to see all the new updates. Again, energynewsbeat.com, dashboard.energynewsbeat.com. Enough of the pleasantries, though, Stu. Where do you want to begin?
Why don't we start with my favorite country here, China? The article's China to accelerate the construction of coal-fired plants. Is net zero a possibility? This article is pretty funny when they had a picture of Greta, and she looked like she was having a cow. I'm not sure which, but it says solar and wind will see massive growth capacity this year, with solar power expected to add a huge 100 gigawatts of capacity and wind another 65. However, China's generation capacity from renewables is supposed to jump above the 50%. But here's the problem with the coal. Coal's coming down to 70 gigawatts of coal-fired power generation. So we're sitting over here going, oh, there's a lot of this. They've already got that much in coal, and they're basically double what they got. Unbelievable. That's a lot of coal.
Yeah, I mean, it says down here, China produced a record amount of coal last year, although output ended the year with a decline amid its latest surge in COVID infections. Total Chinese coal output for the year reached 4.49 billion tons, which is a 9% increase compared to 2021. And that's according to their official website. So they're back on coal. It is interesting that they are adding more renewables on that, which, I mean, great. I think that's awesome. It is funny you're seeing that. I mean, coal's not clean, trust me. And if it's not, it's not clean in China. We know that for a fact.
No, but if the new coal, I was talking to some folks, and the new coal plants built in the United States are because of the new alloys in the coal that allow the coal fire to get heated more with less coal. So the new ones in the US and that technology are not being deployed in China. Wow.
Yeah, no, it's
Okay,
it's
let's go to
definitely
the
interesting.
when I was over in Davos, as you allege, I thought it was pretty funny when Brian Seltzer was on there and they asked for him, and I had to, like I turned it down, and they picked up Brian Seltzer, from CNN. So,
That's a new low point. Getting replaced by Brian Stelter. Ugh.
I turned it down, and he picked it up, dude. So yeah, anyway, okay, 4 key takeaways from this at the World Economic Forum. What a bunch of chowderheads. I'm going to leave it at that. Breaking the reliance on oil and gas. That should tell you everything you need to know from there down on the rest of it. The world is to limit warming 1.5 degrees. But that goes back to our other comment in our article we just read. They can't do it.
What? Time out. There's a quote in here that's unbelievable. We got to break this down, okay? So, breaking a reliance on oil and gas. Get this, Stu. Third paragraph down. The former CEO of iron ore producer Forcus Metals Group, Elizabeth Gaines, told Reuters Global Market Forum in Davos that this is a legitimate quote, people. I'm not making this up. Quote, ultimately, renewable energy will probably outscale our iron ore business significantly and will play a very big part of our overall earnings in the future. Okay. Okay. What? You're going to be selling more iron in order to produce all of these things. So your business is going to boom, lady, because of renewables. Your business, we're going to need more iron. It's not all of a sudden where you're going to become obsolete. So she correctly points this out. I should have maybe read a little bit farther, but it's just these people have no grasp about what's going on with this. How much minerals we're going to need, how much mining we're going to need. Oh my goodness.
Okay. When I did my interview right here with Clean Energy Crisis with Don Deers, he has some really, let me give you some stats right here just for the US. In order to meet by 2050, the average number of new windmill is 995,000 new windmills that they need. The maximum number the U.S. has ever built is 5,860.
So putting them in your backyard. We're putting them in your backyard.
In order to hit that number, we have to build 35,540 windmills every year, and we've only built 5,000 in a year.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So here's these other ones in here, Stu. We've got India accelerates EV plans. This is great. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about what the Indian government has done at trying to secure the lowest cost energy for their people. So I may not necessarily agree with this, but they've got a few check marks in my book, so I'm good.
Oh, they do. But there is no capacity for EV growth in India. I just got to say that right now. Love it. They're doing it great, but they're trying to get power to the people, and they just passed India as the most populous country in the world. I mean, they just passed China. Oops.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I don't necessarily think all of a sudden, I don't believe the quote of, what does it say here? Anish Shah told CNBC that the CEO of automotive manufacturer Mahindra Group said he expects EV production to account for a quarter of its car sales within the next 5 years, up from just 1% today. That's big growth. That's a lot of growth.
It is. I wonder if is that company only making 4 EVs a year? How many are they making?
Yeah, exactly. It's up from 1 to 5. So, we got what is it? Green hydrogen push. Ooh, what's that?
Oh, I already shut it down. I thought we were done. So Davos is a joke. Honestly, they all did a sing around. And did you see that video of that lady singing? Oh
No, I
my
didn't.
goodness.
I saw people. I mean, I saw a little bit of it. I'll admit, I saw a little bit of it. It was
Okay,
unbelievable.
quick. Here I am for the podcast listeners. I'm holding my hands up. Oh, oh, oh,
You
Sandy,
got to
your
do that
dog.
again. Give me that one more time.
Oh, Sandy, your dog does it better than that poor woman. I mean,
Yeah.
she was shot in the foot. She had been hunting with Dick Cheney, and then they gave her a mic. I mean, she was
Oh, she's in. We need to get Dick Cheney hunting party T-shirts printed immediately. We have so many things, but all right. What story's next? What do we got?
next one. African energy may save Europe. I really like this article, but there's two things. African energy may save Europe. I'm going to go ahead and go down to the lower part of the paragraph here. We can't get a pipeline built in the United States. Nord Stream 2 and 1 were blown up. But in this article, they're talking about building a pipeline from Nigeria through Niger, through Algeria, up through Morocco to Spain, across the Strait of Gibraltar, and then over through Libya and up past the Leviathan field that has just got lots of gas up there. What are they smoking? I don't know. Holy smokes, Batman. Look at this thing.
I'm looking at it. It's an insane. It's again, people, I'd recommend going on energynewsbeat.com. Hit the description below. You can find all of the links there. You'll see the pipeline network. I
And
mean,
they're calling it
it's.
the crowning jewel.
I mean, come on. What do you think there's going to be? I mean, what do you think? There's going to be corruption that's going to happen? I mean, what do you think? You think it's going to go under? You think it's going to go over budget? What?
I think what we ought to do is put President Biden in charge of this. He has done such a great job with this. Let's just put President Biden in charge of this holy cow Batman pipeline. What do you think?
Hunter Biden's on the board. Hunter Biden's on the board.
Nice. Okay, I think this one's going to make the comedy reel.
I mean, it's planned. It'll be very interesting to see if it goes through, what is it, the Nigel gas pipeline. But I think the overall sentiment of the article, as much as we joke, is true. Africa does hold what could be the energy future from a natural gas perspective that Europe could tap into to take its reliance off Russia, which is, I think, the overall point, regardless of whether or not we think this gas pipeline is possible.
Okay, here's what I really don't like about some of this, and that is taking advantage of Africa. We need to provide them and don't give them, buy it off market rates, pay top dollar for that gas, and let's help the African people get as much low cost energy. Don't force renewables on them. Let's let them have their own natural gas. Yep. Sorry.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm getting off my high horse there. I don't like taking advantage of Africa like everybody else. This next one, silver, copper prices on the rise amid supply shortages. Which would you rather buy, Michael? Gold or silver?
Silver. No, take it back. Gold.
Cool. Why is silver climbing? Analysts attribute low silver supplies and its tendency to outperform gold in high inflation. No, I'll take silver.
I disagree, though. I disagree. And it's only because gold is just seen as, but we don't want to get off topic here.
I would agree with you because the gold standard is coming back. There's about 6 countries that are lining up to re-go to gold. So I agree with you. Gold is there. What do you think about copper coming around the corner?
Well, I think copper. I think copper is going to become more and more valuable
on your interview, because a recent Goldman Sachs commentary was right here in paragraph 2 under copper price.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
figured
yeah. I
it's
mean,
came up in
you know, of course, of course, they think they think it's you know, I mean, if you look at what's copper trading at right now, I've got copper up here. I mean, copper's $10 right now. Oh
yeah,
no, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the futures contract. Excuse me.
yeah, it says 442 and then
Yeah,
554
yeah,
next.
exactly. Yeah, we're trading at 450 right now. Okay, so um, I mean,
You're
on an
fired.
overall level, copper is a very volatile commodity because it's used heavily in industry. Gold
Yes.
is, but not a lot of gold relative to the amount of gold stockpiles we have. So the supply only increases by 1-2% maximum a year. So it's very stable supply. Yes, a little bit gets drawn into industry, but not much comparative to copper, which goes through huge swings, peaks, valleys of supply demand. So really, when you're talking about where copper prices are going, where are we on sort of the supply demand swing of copper? And, you know, if you're looking at according to this article, we're definitely on the trending into a little bit more of the bull side. You know, and a lot of this has to come with the availability. I mean, mining projects take years and years in advance to plan. And, you know, a lot of this copper news can also be sentiment driven, much like oil and gas prices. Oh, new copper mine out of Argentina, boom, things like that. So, you know, I wouldn't come out and say I'm a copper expert. We did, as when I was getting my graduate degree, I was on the trading team, and it was the commodities trading team. And
Nice.
we got taken to the cleaners and everything, but we killed it trading copper. We killed it trading copper. It was our most profitable commodity, mainly because we were just in a supply crunch. And so we had some futures contracts that took off. But as you dug in more, it's all about just where that overall I mean, it's really trades exactly. I mean, as all commodities do, trade off the supply and demand, but it's so far reaching out with, you know, what you're looking at, forecasts out of different mines. Oh, they had to update the mine plan, and now years 3 to 5 are going to be the more lucrative parts of the mine versus, you know, 5 to 7. So it's all hairy. So
Well,
that's where I'm at with copper.
yeah, the story yesterday came out. Peru has their biggest copper mine that has some serious problems and some. I don't. They're not Antifa, but they burned down a couple of the housing areas there. And the article yesterday said that it would cost the company billions. I mean, it's a big halting thing in the whole copper price. The whole Peru mine's being shut down.
Ooh, crazy.
So okay, I think that's it for me, dude.
Yeah, we'll cover finance quickly. Only a couple things, mainly on oil prices. Currently trading 81.64. New numbers out of China push, you know, really our third bullish trading day in a row. As I mentioned, there's some China data coming out. Let me pull up the exact quote here. Data shows a solid pickup in travel in China, according to ANZ commodity analysts, pointing out that road traffic congestion in the country's 15 key cities so far this month is up 22% from a year ago. So some positive sentiment going around what's happening in China. And so I think that's mainly the
Air
cause
travel?
for the
Was that air travel, Michael?
yes. No,
That's
road traffic congestion
oh nice. Okay, good. That's
in the country's 15 cities. So I think that's a lot of what you're seeing taking this in the bullish direction. On natural gas side, mainly what we're looking at is a pop today. We're currently trading about $3.42. Time stands about 6:36 here on the 23rd, the night before. We're up about Overall, we were up about six percentage points. So really good considering we were trading just below $3.22. You know, new weather forecasts rolling in on top of that seem to be more cold, on top of the fact that we are Freeport seems to be getting closer to coming back online. That momentum, I think, really pulled it up today. We also are looking for the EIA storage report. Last year we had a big draw, or excuse me, a big draw. This year we'll probably have somewhere between 67 to 87, where, as I mentioned, Stu, last year, 217 draws. So, we're just not we're not consuming as much natural gas as people thought. So that's, again, really lagging on prices. And all of that. I think the other interesting thing that we should cover is High Peak Energy. This is a company that has, I love it, Stu, announced via a press release that they are going to attempt to sell themselves. It's a swag move. It's like announcing that it's like putting out a press release. The analogy's tough, but basically they're selling. They announced it. I'll read you the quote. They've initiated a process to evaluate strategic alternatives to maximize shareholder value, including a potential sale of the company. You know what that's code for? They're definitely trying to sell the company. They're not like going to restructure. They're not going to like sell the port. No, they're selling the whole kit and caboodle. What's that worth? Well, it's probably worth it's at least worth a couple billion. To give you an idea, guys, they're in Eastern Howard County of Midland Basin. They've got, $2
billion between friends, Michael.
Yep. I mean, here's what they've got. Let me see. They've got, running 4 rigs. They're 110,000 acres. They think they can get up to 75,000 BOE per day for 2024 production. They're cash flow positive, quote unquote, second half of the year. They've got 2,500 locations, including 1,300 primary locations. And for all of that sizzle and spice, which is all nice press release, the $3 billion, please.
Wow.
So
I still line 3. What's a couple billion between friends? Hey, real quick, I want to give a shout out to Paras. We're filming this at 6:39 on Monday night, and I just got a flash across my thing that he's responding to another email. So shout out to our buddy Paras.
Love me some Paras. Appreciate you tuning in, man. Back to High Peak. Yeah, I mean, again, they're in the Midland Basin. If anyone is going to be able to get a premium and swoop them up, they've got some contiguous block. I don't necessarily disagree with what they're saying. I mean, do I believe it's going to be $3 billion? Maybe. And this is where we'll have to do a little bit more research. Maybe give me a couple days. I'll come back with some numbers, but I would be hard pressed to find $3 billion for locations. I'll tell you that much. $3 billion for locations is a lot. A lot. Well, all right, Stu, you got anything else for the show?
I don't know. I'm good. It was a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Thank you very much, Michael.
Yeah, no worries, guys. So appreciate you guys tuning in. With that, we'll let you get out of here, get back to work. Thanks for checking us out. For Stuart Turley and Michael Tanner, we'll see you tomorrow.